So, you might ask yourself, on a scale of 1 to Hunter Labrada, how bad was Sam's diet? What's up, guys? I know I was off last week. I was really burned out, actually. I was not as much with the YouTube stuff, but just having like a headache and completely drained just from really hard training and my other jobs. But this week I'm back, and I figured I'd react to Sam Sulek's now viral video of his diet since that was making waves. I know the video is over like 30 minutes long. I'm probably going to chop this down and just pick the important parts out, but let's get into it.
1,000 calories in the milk jug. Let's see how many. That's 64 grams of fat. Thank you. We should probably add these.
That is a lot of fat in one meal.
240 grams of carbs. And then what? 70 grams of protein. So I'll just drink this on the way home. Mike, let me up. Yeah, let him in here. Yep. Not an.
All right. I mean, it is calories. There is a lot of fat in there, which is not ideal for bodybuilding. We already know that fat gets stored a little more easily as fat and really fucks up your digestion if you have too much of it, which is probably why dairy doesn't digest well for most people. Apparently, he doesn't have an issue with it. So, I mean, if it works for him, that's great. It's probably not the most optimal thing. I will say that you notice his skin quality is not very good, and dairy has been shown to have an effect on skin quality and acne. So I'm not surprised that this is one of the side effects he's having, whether or not it was from the testosterone, which that might be contributing a little bit. But clearly, if you're drinking that much dairy, it's likely to be one of the causes.
Animal, I'm not going to chug it, but I'll sip on it. I'd say at least like 300-400 carbs before I'd want to lift.
Really?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Like, usually when I'm working, right, I'm up at like 6:30.
Yeah, 300 carbs is a little much for me. I'd feel kind of lethargic on that. But I mean, if he feels like he's got good energy, that's fine. And I know people are going to rip him for eating cereal, but on high carb days, even with carb cycling, technically you would want to eat something easily digestible like cereal or a mix of carbs, because if you're eating straight 300 carbs of just rice, it doesn't sit that well in your stomach. It digests pretty fast, but it's a little tough to get down. The worst I've ever had. So sweet potato I absolutely love when I'm on a cut because they fill you up, and the sweet potato fries are easy to make and very low fat in the air fryer. Do not eat those on a bulk. I tried one, so this is like a month ago now. I ran out of rice one night and I was just like, fuck, dude, I want to go to bed. I don't want to wait an hour for the thing. And I also didn't want to wake up in the morning and have to use the rice maker and let it sit there for an hour, whatever it takes to cook 10 cups of rice. So I used all these sweet potato fries I already had made. I was like, fuck it, they're made already. Why not just use them? So I used all those for my carb sources the whole day, besides my Rice Krispie or whatever I ate before my workout and the cereal in the morning. And I will tell you, the next day I had the shits, like running down my leg like shits. And I would go on the toilet and your little chunks of just like sweet potato fries are coming out still orange out of my asshole. So they did not digest at all. So there's there's an upper limit to how many sweet potatoes you can consume in a day and digest, apparently.
But in this, there was 240.
No, there wasn't. Oh, there was too.
8 times 30.
8 servings. Fuck, there's 240 grams of carbs in this?
I was kind of surprised. I was surprised more by the 80 grams of fat.
That didn't surprise me. It's whole milk.
Yeah. A lot of younger guys don't pay attention to fat at all. Chocolate milk has a lot of extra sugar in it, so that's probably where all the carbs come from.
Yes, but
Okay, so when you say I like to get 400 grams in before I train, you don't mean the pre-meal. You mean total before you train.
Total. Yeah.
So you had 240 there.
Oh, total. Okay. That makes way more sense. I was gonna say 400 right before you go in the gym. I would feel like a freaking balloon. Like, roll me into the gym at that point. Like 1 to 200 carbs before you work out. That's manageable if you have some quick sources. I like an apple sometimes, along with, Rice Krispies or something easy. But I mean, with a good chunk of rice too. I'm not eating like all sugar before I go in there, but mixing some sugary sources in.
Get?
Yeah. But I'm not really like that specific about it.
No, I know. I'm just saying. So 150. So even if you said 100, you need 3 for 150 is 5 servings.
They say to measure it out by the cup.
Yeah, you should be exact with that.
That's just such a hassle to me. Like, why would I?
You don't want to have 10 more grams.
Yeah, I wouldn't use cup either. Just look at how many grams it is and measure the
Well, why do I
weight.
want to scoop it out if I could just pour it out and see the number right there in front of me?
Do you eye up your food or do you actually measure it? No, we measure it.
Yeah, don't use measuring cups at all when you're weighing your calories out, especially if you're my client, because the calculator I use is all in metric.
You gotta measure everything.
I mean, you can. It's just a lot harder to not use the calculator I give you that tells you exactly how to measure it.
Just do the milliliters.
No, grams. Are you sure it's 160? You measured wrong. You used milliliters.
Well, it's the same thing.
Is it?
A milliliter of water is a gram.
Oh my God! This guy, see?
You're learning.
I didn't even know that. Yeah, no, I do know
Because a
that.
liter of water is a kilogram.
Yeah. It's just a measure.
That was like the
It's a
original
unit of weight. So yeah, it
Paul
doesn't
fancies
matter.
himself
These
mathematics.
guys are Canadian. How do they not know this? Hold up.
I'll just say
Hold
it's on my
up.
way around a scale.
Hold up. Paul and Fuad are from Canada. They should know this measure, this unit of measurement, and how the metric system works. We got an American telling them how to do it. Blame Canada.
Yeah, you do, don't you? Yeah. Okay. So 160?
Yeah.
Okay. I learned something new today. I didn't know 1 milliliter was 1 gram. I know I did.
All right, buddy. Come on, Fuad.
You're going to fall asleep right after that.
It bothers me when people are commenting online and they're like, oh, he's doing this wrong and doing that wrong. A lot of the people that are commenting are veterans of the sport or they've been around for a long time. But a lot of them forget what they were like when they started. And that's the shame, right? Because when me and Ian talk about Sam or me and Mike talk about Sam, we laugh in a positive way because we're like, fuck, that was us. Right? So
Yeah.
it's a shame when people who 20 years later forgot that that's where they came from also. So, and that's why when people say, oh, you should change this or you should change that or you should teach him this or teach him that, I'm like, no. Because those things, he's doing everything right for him. He looks better than I did at fucking 21. So those things will come in time as he learns his own body. Is it good to get tips here and there? Of course. Everybody should.
Yeah, and it actually seems like Sam is more level-headed than some of the TikToks let on. I think some of that's just to get views. But I mean, anybody that age, you know, you don't have a ton of money, so a lot of times you're cutting corners. I remember John Meadows had his bulking on a budget video. I'm almost surprised that Fuad didn't recommend some of that to Sam because John was his coach for years. But he didn't go out and get like bagels and stuff like that. It was like, well, you wouldn't need a bagel if you're trying to be a bodybuilder. It's just chicken and rice. But at the same time, it's how much time and money do you have when you're fresh out of high school or college? It's not much. I remember putting fucking ice cream in shakes when I was bulking just to get calories in because I was just living on mom and dad's cooking, didn't have any extra money. So it was just like, get what you can in and go from there, you know? But over time, he'll start to see some worse blood work or a worse look as he starts to do more shows and things. And I think he'll start to change. You've seen it with Hunter Labrada lately. Like Hunter got away with just blending chicken and Rice Krispies for every single meal. And I think he had shakes. He'd blend up chicken a little bit and then just sugar for the entire diet to get up to like 300 pounds. And it didn't look very good when he got on the Olympia stage. So this year he cleaned it up and he's looking even better. He'll get to that point where as he gets older, his body can't take eating like this and training the way he does, where he ego lifts a bit. It's working right now. He's freaking huge and he'll learn eventually. Because I mean, when you're 21, you can take a pretty good beating with your body. Me, I hit that phase a little younger because I tore my shoulder up twice in sports. So having that, I mean, I still did like a whole powerlifting phase and all that. I wasn't like completely innocent, But there was one time I went to deadlift and my hand locked up around the bar. I have nerve issues in this arm from my second surgery. And that was a scary moment where I had to take my other hand and peel my fingers off the bar because the nerves just locked up on me and I couldn't move my hand. Something like that, just a scare like that will generally change how you train. And you'll take a smarter approach to where you can still make a lot of progress but not injure yourself.
Be like, yeah, you know what, you can try this, try that, but you don't change something when it ain't broke. So no, it's like it's like a blast from the past. So yeah, it's pretty impressive. And then the other thing too is he's doing all this while in school, while with a full-time job, while also dominating the social media space. So
yeah, so there it is. Say, I don't know a lot about Sam. I don't follow him on TikTok and stuff. I've just seen some of his stuff sprinkled about. And I saw Fuad's video. I usually watch the bro chat actually while I'm meal prepping on my Wednesday meal prep. I meal prep half my food on Sunday and the other half on Wednesday just to make sure, A, the food's fresh because stuff like rice doesn't sit well in the fridge for more than 5 days. And B, I have a roommate now, so I try to share some fridge space. But typically I watch their podcast, and I didn't even know that about Sam, that he's doing all that. But that's what I assumed when I saw what he was eating for his diet. Was he was doing a lot of other things and probably doesn't have a whole ton of money right now.
So all of it together is like, it's pretty insane to watch. So yeah, now we're just going to digest the fucking 2 liters of milk I drank. Try and put it through.
I see you burping a little bit over there.
You know what? It's funny when I watch Sam's videos, he's always burping like.
But the only annoying thing that's going to come out of this is all the TikTokers and like high schoolers are going to see this. So now we're going to have the broccoli-haired motherfuckers with their Crocs or Jesus sandals, their broccoli hair, the dangling earrings, and their tripods everywhere in the gym, sitting around circle jerking every machine, talking in groups. They lift in like groups of 5 and talk on the machine for like an hour. And now they're going to have gallons or liters of milk sitting there sipping it, talking to each other with their fucking pinky up like it's fucking tea time out there. Thanks, Sam. We're going to have to deal with that now.
In between his sentences.
I just see it now. I'm just imagining. I was getting pissed last week because the leg press was taken up by 5 high schoolers sitting there doing the same thing. And my gym was doing maintenance on all the leg machines besides 1 leg press and 1 leg extension and 1 the hack squats. So I did the first 2, and that's the last thing I had to do. And they say they're so long. I said, fuck it. I went and did my cardio, and I was about to leave, and they were still on it. Like 30 minutes later. I'm like, dude. And it's just going to get worse. It's going to get worse. But I digress.
No, it's going to be good. We're going to go. Sam, what do you think? We'll do my workout today?
Yeah.
Something a little different?
What's the difference?
I feel the endurance when I have the extra Pico 2, but when I'm just doing CDX, I definitely feel more of a swole feeling when I'm training.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll have to see what happens when I switch to doing less of it to none when I start trying to trim down.
Oh, you'll feel it.
Yeah, I definitely feel like I thought the intro workout shakes were just marketing BS, honestly. And I was totally prepared for it not to work at all until I started doing it. And I did notice a little bit, especially on my cut when I was doing it. Like usually by the end of the workout, I'd tail off a little bit and cardio was like a super drag. And after taking it, I noticed it more when I ran out, actually. I ran out for a week, and I was like, I'm not going to reorder it. Whatever, not a big deal. Next week, the cardio was freaking hard. And I was tailing off at the end of my workout again. I'm like, all right, maybe there's something to this. Because my other issue is I'm a big cramper. So if anybody else cramps in their hamstrings or calves specifically, like I know when I do hamstring-based exercises, if I do them at the end of my workout, I'll cramp up. I moved them to the front of it to stop that, but also getting an EAA formula, anyone really, and making sure it has salt in it and other electrolytes really kicks that right out. I haven't had any cramping issues since then, and I did notice my endurance actually improved on those longer workouts.
I'm sure I've been.
So it's not all BS.
You know, that's one of the hardest things about
A lot of supplements are BS, but that's not.
You've dieted before. That first couple weeks, man, is the
That's
bitch.
when you're the softest. but you're also the smallest.
Well, it's also when you're
Yeah, those first couple weeks are horrible.
I mean, it
They're
depends.
so bad. You just look small and you're soft, and you just feel like, dude, why am I doing this? I look like a piece of shit.
You diet. If you keep doing exactly what you're doing, but just trim everything down slowly, then you don't notice it as much. But if you go from eating like cereal
No, you still feel like a
all
piece
that
of shit.
to eating like chicken rice, I noticed it like that.
Yeah.
Right away, I'm like, I don't feel that like super swole fucking feeling.
Then your body's got to get used to that again. So it probably takes a couple weeks to train for your
Yeah,
body
that's what I'm
to
saying. Like it
adapt.
takes a couple weeks.
Yeah. And your
then
body adapts.
Yeah, and then you start. I don't know if it's because your body adapts or maybe you just get used to it.
Yeah.
I was on board for most of it until this part. I'm assuming this is a cheat meal and likely just for the YouTubes. I highly doubt he eats this every night.
How's it going? Good, how are you?
There's no way in hell Five Guys is great for body, but especially if you're dieting. There's so much fat in these meals.
Cheeseburger with mustard, lettuce, ketchup, and actually that'll be it. Mustard, lettuce, ketchup.
See, that's how you should do it, though. If you're ordering a burger or a sandwich, they should give it to you plain, and then you add what you want to it. You tell them that. None of this bullshit where Chick-fil-A and these other restaurants will put pickles or mayo, all this nasty shit on your burger by default. And then you got to ask them to not give it to you with it on there. And then half the times they fuck up the order and you get it and it has the crap on it anyway. And the thing with pickles and mayo and all that, you can't just scrape it off. You taste it the whole time you're eating it. It soaks into the bun. It's shitty fucking ways of doing it. Like, think about people that have allergies to that. You could kill someone by putting the fucking pickles or the mayo on there and then biting into it, not expecting it to be on there because they specifically told the dumbass at the drive-thru window not to put it on there 3 times, and they did anyway. What a dweeb.
Thank you very much.
I'm sorry.
They're all over the place.
You're adored, sir. You're adored.
Message is spreading.
Whole fucking SARM goblins all over. Can't avoid them.
Happening more and more for you? What? Happening more and more for you? I hear another one.
Another SARM goblin.
So how do you know Sam?
Oh, I watch him like every night. I've been following your ball for a while.
Yeah.
We watch it a lot. We love watching it. We follow a lot of your tips.
This is not coming across right, kid. You gotta reword that.
Took a huge nap after we got back from Five Guys. Yeah. So still got a little more calories left. Because right now I'm at.
But if he's about to drink more of that
4,700.
milk,
You know, pretty much I want to hit at least.
which donuts
52-ish.
have dairy in them also.
Let's see what we're looking at here. 11 grams of fat, 22 grams of carbs in each of these. There's 3 grams of protein, but I mean it's from dough. I never count that. Like from bread or it's nothing.
Yeah, trace calories, don't even worry about
So
it.
that plus I don't know how large these cups are, but maybe
Yeah, he's gonna drink the milk, isn't he?
4 cups of milk. That's going to be another 30 grams
Yeah.
of protein.
So there's probably the culprit on his acne.
Almost 50.
That is a lot of fucking milk in one day. And it sounds like the milk is something he does routinely. Now, I make the excuse for the Five Guys, but the milk...
All these carbs right now. For one thing, it's going to help me recover. And then I'm going to be nice and full for arms tomorrow. So,
And a lot of guys that have trouble staying lean, I wouldn't do this diet either.
right, like you haven't seen.
The dirtier your diet is in the off-season, the harder your cut's going to be.
What were some of the carbs from earlier?
You can eat like shit in the off-season. Like, I don't care, but you're going to be fucking miserable on your cut.
That was the biggest one.
French fries, burger buns.
Yeah, the buns. I mean, yeah, oh yeah.
How many donuts does he eat, though?
For the most but after this, I'll just take my vitamins. And then after this podcast, just go to bed. So that's pretty much it.
How many
Well,
donuts are you eating?
Shows you how boring the
4.
life of a
I got
bodybuilder
4
is.
on mine.
Everyone thinks there's some like secret sexy key to it, but it's all about putting the work in and eating the calories when it comes down
How
to
much
it.
milk?
I'll probably do 4 cups.
It's disgusting.
4 cups.
That's like 2 cups right
I don't
now.
like milk
This
that
is 2
much.
here.
Oh, I can't drink 2 fucking glasses of that shit.
First.
I'm gonna do.
Even Fuad's on
I'm
board.
gonna do 2 cups of milk and a scoop of ISO H1.
Don't do the milk, please.
Like,
That would
if you're
also be
gonna
another 2 milk. No,
eat
just
that
exactly.
much
There's a
fucking
milk.
dairy, just eat ice cream, man. It's so much
No, I'll
better.
just do the
Tastes so
two
much
actually,
better than
while I'm
that.
looking at it. This will be good.
It's going to wreck your stomach just as much. So, you might ask yourself, on a scale of 1 to Hunter Labrada, how bad was Sam's diet? I put it up there like a solid 8. Not quite as bad as Hunter's. There's more variety than Hunter's, let's put it that way. I will say the Five Guys is probably overkill, but I think a lot of that was because of the fact that he fell behind on his calories from not eating as early in the day and having to play catch up. On a typical day, I'm sure he doesn't eat that, and it was probably more for the views. So I'd say, calorie-wise, got it there. Carb and protein-wise, got it there, but the fat was a little high. He probably could have skewed it more towards the carbs. There wasn't a whole ton of carb sources to the donuts in there, besides the Captain Crunch. But if you like this video, just let me know in my comment section below, and I'll see you in the next one.